All information contained in this podcast is general in nature and does not consider your individual circumstances. You should consider the appropriateness of this information with regards to your individual objectives, financial situation, and needs. Welcome to Sharing More Than the Sheets, a podcast to help you and your partner make better financial and lifestyle decisions so that you can both focus on the things that you love. I'm your host, Michael Khouri, financial planner, green thumb, husband, and just dad. This segment is called Michael's Magic Moment. It's my opportunity to play a little snippet from one of our previous episodes which resonated with our listeners, that I received feedback from, or I felt really had an impact on some people's lives. Hope you enjoy. This week we go back to one of my favorite episodes. It was our first year anniversary and I invited Olympian champion Grant Hackett onto the show, where we talked about focusing on the end goal. Now, something Grant talked about, and this is a topic that I highlight many times with my clients when it comes to investing or even just working towards a goal, could be building up savings or paying off debt. We talked about the importance of focusing on the end goal, that the fact that it's very easy to set goals, it's very easy to start your journey towards a goal, but it's very difficult to actually see it through and to just focus on the end goal, because in life, financially, personally, we come up against things. Things change. We might come up against obstacles that we need to overcome. We may come up against challenges, issues, things that we didn't expect, things that we probably expected but didn't expect it to be as bad or as hard or as distracting, or going through this circumstance and going through something where you're trying to work towards a goal, but there's things coming up against you, or maybe you're losing motivation. It puts you in a very unique position. It's not unique in that we all go through it, but it's very unique in that only you can really impact the outcome of your journey. And we can learn from Olympic swimmers. We can learn from, those you surround yourself with as to how we can deal with these things. And there's going to be distractions, that there are going to be negative people in your life that maybe will, try to convince you to not work towards that goal. But if there's anything I know, personally as an advisor, or even as an Australian, looking at our Olympic swimmers, or looking at people that have just done things in their life and have achieved great things, it was never easy. Because if it was easy, everyone else would be doing it. So if you're listening to this and you're trying to work towards something, whether it's fame, whether it's success, whether it's influencing others, or whether you're in a situation and you're trying to work your way out of that situation, if you surround yourself with the right people, if you have the right mindset, if you listen to the right people and ignore the wrong people, if you listen to the right people and ignore the right people, then you're improving your chances dramatically. And this is something that I help with, I can help with as an advisor, especially when it comes to money or personal life, but it's something that you could probably seek guidance from, whether it's from a mentor, or whether it's from a friend, or from your partner, or from listening to the right people, listening to podcasts like this. If you focus on the end goal and you have that in sight, you are more likely to achieve that goal, compared to if you are distracted from that goal, or you forget what you're even working towards. So many times I talk to people that were on a journey. They were working towards something, but along that journey, they lost track of why they even started that journey. They lost track of what they were trying to achieve. They lost track of what success means to them. And as soon as that's clear, as soon as you are clear on your goal, as soon as you are clear on what success means to you, and as soon as you have ways and strategies and things in place to help you work towards that goal and to stay on track, you are dramatically increasing your chances of success. All I can say is I'm coming from the perspective of an advisor, as a coach, as someone that helps people with these things regularly. If you listen to anyone that's become successful, they will tell you the only way it happened was because they had something that they worked towards, and they did not lose focus on that goal. And if they did lose focus, they were able to get that focus back and achieve that goal and do great things. So let's go back to the episode with Grant Hackett. Again, it's one of my favorite episodes. Feel free to listen to the whole thing. Feel free to share it with a friend or family member, someone that probably needs to listen to this message. And I hope you get a lot out of it. The message I'm getting, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but consistency is key. I've experienced it myself, even with this podcast show. This is our 52nd episode, and starting off, it was the first 10 episodes were easy. It was exciting. I was doing something different, but then it got to a point where as a financial advisor and busy enough as it is, and it's that consistency of doing it. And for me, I think my satisfaction was just talking to people regularly that are saying, "Oh, I love the episodes," and I'm learning something from it. And for me, that was my kick. That's what's kept me going. But even that, there's times where I'm like really busy, and it's putting that time aside and that consistency of putting in those hours per week aside to do certain things to achieve something. So
for sure,
and I'm guessing for you, it's the same.
Yeah, 100%. Once that sugar spike is gone of excitement, when you're doing something new and you're passionate about, it becomes about deliberate practice. It becomes about grinding. It's about, getting, an extra centimeter, an extra inch closer to that goal. And there is a point where once that excitement is gone and the motivation is not as intense, that's when you start to see the difference between someone that truly wants to deliver that outcome and achieve success in that particular field that they're pursuing versus the other people that will transition to something else where they'll get that first, like you said, the first 10 weeks are exciting. They'll get that first few months of excitement and they'll think, oh, this is not really working out the way I intended. Now I might move into another field. And it's funny, as most people say, it took me 15 years to be an overnight success. And that's the same in any single field, whether that's sport, whether that's business, whether that's politics, whether, you're becoming a scientist or whatever it might be. It is years and years and years of grinding. And people don't understand that the grinding is probably the underlying most important pillar to being able to deliver an outcome. And that consistency that you spoke about is everything, because it would be so easy to, wake up on that Thursday morning at 4:45 a.m. and not want to go down in the middle of winter to the pool. But then you think about the goal. You think about what your purpose is, what you're setting out to achieve. And often motivation is not something that just pops up into your head. I certainly had no motivation at 4:45. I'm not a morning person by any means. But what I did do was I was action orientated. So I just put one foot in front of the other. And it's funny, once one foot goes in front, it's actually easier to get the next foot in front. So I found motivation actually came by doing for me through the execution process. So I always recognize that now. Whenever it's a tough, long day or you're just getting through a set of tasks that, can be somewhat boring and monotonous, you just have to know if you do, you will actually feel the motivation kick in. And it's often very, very rewarding. And the most rewarding times is the most challenging times, when you didn't want to do it, when you were sick, when you were injured, when things weren't going your way, and you overcame that adversity and you actually delivered your outcome, your goal. And you sit there so satisfied as an individual. I think there's no better feeling than that.
Thanks for joining us on Sharing More Than the Sheets. Please make sure you subscribe to be updated with future episode releases. And feel free to share this episode with any friends or family that you think it might benefit. Please visit us at sharingmorethanthesheets.com.au to submit questions or requests for future podcast topics. These podcasts have been brought to you by Better Financial Planning Australia. To book a 15-minute phone chat, visit betterfinancialplanning.com.au.